Parkville.
On WCBM.com.
Hold it now.
You are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
This is the Rob Carson Show, and by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Finally Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to it. Please come inside. I got so much to get to today. I better just get on it right now. First and foremost, the number one question for Americans today.
Have we, and did the CIA tell you that Ayatollah Jr.'s gay?
Well, they did say that, but I don't know if it was only them. I think a lot of people are saying that, which puts them off to a bad start in that particular country. You know, I sort of have to smile to myself when I say I see people trying to defend the Palestinian regime for women, women for Palestine.
Yes.
But they kill women if you don't wear a certain group
That's true. That's true, yeah.
If you don't wear a certain cloth all over your face, you have no chance of living. And, you know, when I look at gays for Palestine, but they kill gays. They kill them instantly. They throw them off buildings. And I'm saying, who are the gays for Palestine? And they have a significant amount of gays for Palestine. Now,
there are no gays for Palestine in Palestine or wherever the hell it is.
I think when I did very well with the gay vote. Okay, I even played the gay national anthem as my walk-off. Okay, for
YMCA. Come
and
on.
I think it probably helped me. But I did great with no Republicans ever gotten the gay vote like I did, and I'm very proud of it. I think it's great. Perhaps it's because I'm from New York City. I don't know. But the gay national anthem was my walk-off, and I think it probably had. But think of it. Gays for Palestine, but they kill gays in Palestine. When they hear that, I think probably we can talk about it.
You know, when I first heard YMCA, I just thought it was about going to work out. I'm not even sure exactly, but apparently it's like a gay national anthem. So there you go. This is the gay Ayatollah theme song by Jim Gossett.
His name's Mojtaba, last name Khomeini.
What a fabulous way to start the show.
It is mentioned now and then that he is fond of men. That's why his father was wary of him. You see, his dad was anti-gay, and there wasn't any way that he would want his son to be the chosen one. When you consider his idea of fun, he's Mojtaba, last name Khomeini. No one thinks of him as brainy.
No, not really.
Prefers the fellas, not fond of ladies. The Pentagon's claiming Khomeini is flaming. That's Mojtaba.
IRCG.
Could he be gay? That's what they say.
Likes to wear flowing robes and headgear.
As a leader, some say he'll blow it. Intelligence, he doesn't show it.
Well,
that is Mojtaba.
I'll leave that one alone.
He is a marked man, big into fashion and unbridled passion. That's Mojtaba. He'll give you a wink.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of funny, and I do believe that God kind of God has a great sense of humor. It's frequently a very dark sense of humor. I've noticed. And the fact that I guess the Ayatollah, the heir to the throne, is gay is like the ultimate God going, let's make him gay. I mean, what the heck, you know? Why not? If they're going to murder people for being gay, let's just go ahead and make the Ayatollah gay. Oh, my goodness. By the way, Steve Witkoff, he's the guy who went over there and he was negotiating with Iran for a couple of months. And Iran made the foolish mistake of saying, yeah, we got, 500 pounds of uranium and enough to make 11 nukes. We're thinking about making it. You know, what the hell? Not the good way to start off the talks when you're talking to the representative from the United States with Donald Trump as the president.
We have strong signs that this is a possibility, and if a deal happens, it will be great for the country of Iran, for the entire region, and the world at large. Iran is looking for an off-ramp following your powerful threat on Saturday. Your indications that you are willing to listen to peace proposals have been well received. Finally, we have told Iran one last thing. Don't miscalculate again.
Don't miscalculate. Don't mess around with Don. And it's wonderful, actually, because they have this foolish pride and hubris that makes them refuse to give up and gives us permission to pound them into the ground. And I think that's really cool. It's the same way with the Democrat Party, right? By the way, they're the same way. They're going down the same road with the same idiotic policies and whatnot that cost them the election in 2024, but they're so proud and stupid that they're going to continue. Here's Donald Trump yesterday talking about Iran's nukes.
Well, I have to do something in terms of making America great and keeping America great. And when you have lunatics with nuclear weapons and the power is beyond belief, I will tell you, as a president, I get to see it. My uncle was a great professor at MIT, and he knew more about nuclear at the time than anybody. He told me stories that were horrible in terms of the power, both beautiful in terms of putting it to good use, but really bad for destruction purposes.
Yep.
And his statements from years ago were, he really got it. He really got it. He was a highly respected.
Yeah, and we stopped Iran from getting nukes. And they wanted nukes, by the way. Democrats said they wanted nukes for the last 6 years. You heard Tony Blinken and all these idiots from the Joe Biden administration. They all said that Iran could easily get nukes. And, of course, we helped pay for them because Barack Obama sent them pallets and pallets and pallets of cash. And Joe Biden freed up their money so they could spend it on weapons and whatnot. Here is Donald Trump talking about Iran being a cancer.
What we had to do is get rid of the cancer. We had to cut out the cancer. The cancer was Iran with a nuclear weapon, and we've cut it out. Now we're going to finish it off. As we rebuild the greatest economy in history, a top priority must be to bring down the cost of living. And we were doing that.
Yep, we were doing that, but Donald Trump had to be sidetracked a little bit and kill the ayatollah and make his gay son into a cardboard cutout. Cardboard is so tacky. You had to make me out of cardboard. Stop it. My God. Couldn't you have used corian or something? Iran plans to charge ships to pass through the Straits of Hormuz. Yeah, good luck with that, Iran. What are you going to collect the tolls with? You going to row out in a dinghy? Iran preparing legislation that would impose tolls on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. Sure, go with that, okay? Traffic in the waterway, a critical shipping route, has effectively come to a standstill since the U.S. and Israel war. Blah, 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 blah. Revolutionary Guard-aligned news agency Farce. F-A-R-S. You can't make this up. Their news agency is called Farce. Oh, my God. Said overnight that a lawmaker had told its reporter the plans to impose tolls were also a bid to officialize Iranian supervision over the Straits of Hormuz with their dinghy, with the one dinghy that is allowed. That is according to the Revolutionary Guard-aligned news agency Farce. That is just fantastic. Donald Trump yesterday talked about the gifts, by the way, the gifts that the Iranians were going to give him, and he made it public what they were. Okay, it's not there. Hold on one second.
We're going to let you have 8 boats.
Hold on, here we
They
go.
said to show you the fact that we're real and solid and we're there. We're going to let you have 8 boats of oil. 8 boats.
Yeah.
8 big boats of oil.
Big boats.
This was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And they'll sail up tomorrow. And actually, they then apologized for something they said, and they said, we're going to send 2 more boats. And it ended up being 10 boats.
That's 10 boats, ladies and gentlemen. 10 boats. That was the present that you got there. Oh, by the way, yesterday, another great Cabinet Super Friends meeting. Yeah, there we go. That's my sound effect for the Cabinet Super Friends meeting. Actually, here's the entire introduction of my Cabinet Super Friends.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 4 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe.
There you go.
Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
That's right. And, of course, one of those guys is Pete Hegseth.
A-10 Warthogs. If you know them, you love them.
Oh, yeah.
And Apache helicopter gunships.
Yeah.
Are flying strike missions inside Iranian airspace and throughout the Strait of Hormuz at will. See, you only send these slow, low-flying, close air support platforms when the enemy has no meaningful air defenses left.
Nothing. They got nothing. They got nothing left to try to shoot these down. Meanwhile, Scott Bessent, also a cabinet superhero, talked about how shipping is returning to normal.
10 boats of crude sailing right through. And Bessent says there's more on the way.
We are starting to see more and more movement in and out of the Gulf today, and this is more than yesterday, and this is the beginning. I am confident that shipping traffic will continue to increase on a daily basis, even before we secure the straits.
There you go, and oil already down, and so it's not going to go much further, and it looks like we're going to wrap this thing up post-haste, and the American military kicked some serious butt, even though there were people in the Democrat Party from day one who said that we were losing. Even yesterday, a congressman from the Democrat Party said we were losing.
There is absolutely no plan. The administration clearly can't even understand why they're in this war, what their strategy is to get out of it.
You're saying an absolute lie. Everything you just said was a lie. This is what the Democrat Party does. They say things that are absolute lies because they think they still own the media. But you see, everything you just said was a lie, and now it's been exposed as a, say it with me, lie.
The U.S. is losing this war?
As of right now, I think we are.
Folks here in the room,
yes,
these cameras, they have a choice.
This is Pete Hegseth.
You're either informing the American people of the truth or you're not.
No, they don't.
Because I hear it from my people every day. Behind every headline you write, there's a helicopter crew in the air. And behind every news banner you write, there's a battalion on the move. And behind every fake news story, there's an F-35 pilot executing a dangerous mission. My message to the media is get it right.
But they won't, and guess what? We will overwhelm them with the truth, and we will overwhelm them with joy and patriotism, because our military kicked some serious butt. It was amazing. All right, we got a lot of stuff to get to on the show. Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal is going to join us at the bottom of this hour. Mary Walter next hour. I've got some great stuff for her. Christian Toto, Hollywood and Toto, your calls as well, 800-922-6680. This is a Friday edition of the Rob Carson Show. Right back.
Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Hey, win tickets and prizes. Text into the studio. Best of all, it's free.
The Rob Carson Show podcast is everywhere. Go to newsmax.com/listen for details.
Which foreign country do you consider to be our greatest adversary?
I think there's an obvious one in mind, which is Iran. Iran has American blood on their hands. Okay?
Wow. Many of the Iranian military factories and bases that we're systematically destroying were paid for by the pallets of American cash that Barack Obama flew into Tehran under the Iran deal. You might call it an inconvenient truth. Iran took our money and turned it into weapons and bunkers and ammo. And now we're destroying those weapons, and you're writing, Mr. President, that grievous wrong.
Isn't it kind of interesting that Kamala Harris said that Iran was our worst enemy, and while she was the vice president, Joe Biden freed up tens of billions of sanctioned dollars for Iran to use for weapons? Isn't that kind of interesting? It's kind of like saying you care about our security and you open the southern border to 20 million people unvetted for disease, criminality, or terror. It's kind of weird that way, and I think it's because the Democrat Party are traitorous wretches who hate the country. This is maybe me. I'm the only person who feels that way. No, I think everybody is, because it's true. There you go. One thing you don't want to do is disappoint Donald Trump. Can you imagine being Donald Trump's kid? And just my dad had this thing he would do, and it was just that look. It was the look of disappointment, and it was worse than anything. And trust me, he did a lot worse. But that look of disappointment. Can you imagine though, if you disappoint Donald Trump, it would be real tough, and it's going to be real tough on Europe, because I have a funny feeling they really ticked him off.
The UK was very afraid to give us, because they didn't want to get dragged in. But we don't want to get dragged into their wars either. It's one thing we're very disappointed, I'll say it publicly, we're very disappointed with NATO.
Oh, that's not good.
Because NATO has done absolutely nothing. Nope. And I've always said, 25 years ago, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly that
it's a toilet paper tiger.
Come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours.
Yeah.
And I want you to remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue.
Remember.
Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated. They said, we'd love to send ships. They actually made a statement, a couple of them, that we want to get involved when the war's over. No, it's supposed to get involved when the war's beginning, or even before it begins.
This is a man who doesn't forget stuff. Something's going to happen. Here's the problem. Like, for instance, Great Britain and France are already in some serious crap, probably more threatened of being overtaken than they were in World War II, although France just kind of gave up pretty quickly. But Great Britain's already been invaded and taken over. And Donald Trump's going to be like, well, you know what? Yon, yon. So those two words, yon, 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 yon. Yon, yon. There you go. Here is Marco Rubio saying the same thing.
The United States is constantly being asked to help in a war, and we have more than any other country in the world, on a war that's happening in another continent, in Ukraine. But when the U.S. had a need, he didn't get proper positive responses. So right now he's just making the observation that, I think there was a couple of the leaders in Europe who said that this was not Europe's war. Well, Ukraine is not America's war, and yet we've contributed more to that fight than any other country in the world. So it'll be something to examine. The president will have to take it.
Yeah, John Solomon's got some news on Ukraine. Do you remember when I said at the beginning of the Ukrainian conflict that Ukraine was the country that oligarchs around the world go to launder their money? Well, it's true. And wait till you hear what some of the money that we sent so that they could buy weapons and yachts on the Caribbean went for. Joe Biden's very much involved, by the way. Is that a big surprise? Your son got a Ukrainian gas company deal, got $1 million a year, didn't know anything about gas and oil. Isn't that kind of interesting? It's just kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah. If you get in my bed, by the way, you'll sleep better than you ever slept in your life. And I'm not just saying because I'm going to be in there, because if you're a female, you're going to what? I'm going to sleep. But no, I'm talking about you getting my bed, which is a ghost bed, okay? I had another glorious sleep last night. My gosh, I wake up this morning. The alarm is set for 7 o'clock. I wake up at it had to be awakened by the alarm for the first time in a long time. Normally, you set the phone and at 5:30 whatever. Just screw it. I get out. I'm not going to lay here. But the ghost bed that I have is remarkable. Ghost bed is a American-made bed, and it comes in a box that's rolled up, and you unroll it, and it pops up, and you can get different kinds of firmness, and you can get the different sizes and all that. I got a queen that is a queen. Stop it! No, a queen-size mattress that's literally it's like 16, 18 inches thick, and it sleeps beautifully. It's got a pillow top, and it's not too soft. It's not too hard. It stays cool. It's remarkable, and it's not expensive. I paid a lot more money for a lot less mattress. Ghostbed.com/Newsmax. 10% savings off already low savings. I'm telling you, you've got to get a ghost bed. If you're sleeping on one of those foam mattresses, it's a piece of crap. Do not get it. Do not order another one. Ghostbed.com/Newsmax. It has changed my life. So here's John Solomon. Down at CPAC, apparently a whole bunch, there's a reason why USAID, they disintegrated USAID, and it's because they were so bloody corrupt.
But we're going to cover one thing we broke overnight. A lot of you probably heard about it over the course of the day. The United States government, the National Security Agency, intercepted conversations of President Zelensky's government in Ukraine in 2022, late 2022, conspiring with federal workers at the USAID to come up with a plan to take $200 million of USAID money. That is your money, folks, taxpayer money, route it through a series of transactions, move it into the United States, and launder it into Joe Biden's 2024 campaign and the Democratic National Committee.
Wow, he also got like $35 million from the Chinese Communist Party through 27 LLCs to 9 of his family members.
We have the intercepts for the first time. Tulsi Gabbard's team was willing to declassify them. There is now an investigation underway, beginning with USAID, to look at who was involved, whether any crimes were committed, and if that is the case, to refer that to the FBI in the next few days. Those declassified documents up at justthenews.com. You can go check about it today. Members of Congress have been clamoring all day to get their hands on the documents.
It has been verified through classified documents. $200 million of USAID money came back from Ukraine into the campaign coffers of Joe stinking Biden. When are people going to start being tried and thrown in prison for the rest of their bloody lives? It had better start happening. But there you go. That's your Democrat Party. They will do anything to win, by hook or by crook. Usually they lean into the crook. Tony Kinnett, Daily Signal, joins us next. Don't go anywhere. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net. Hey guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
Go check about it today. Members of Congress have been clamoring all day to get their hands on the documents. I expect Tulsi Gabbard to make a statement later tonight on where things are evolving in her investigation. But we've gone from the era of weaponization where the primary tool was using prosecutors and FBI agents to disable Donald Trump and his followers and all the good people around him, to now potentially conspiring with foreign powers to have an impact on our elections. We have the Ukraine stuff this morning, and remember what we told you 3 weeks ago. Proof from the FBI that China sent tens of thousands of driver's licenses to the United States with fake names to get fake ballots to vote for Joe Biden in the 2020 election.
It's kind of weird, right? I mean, I was told by Democrats that election fraud doesn't happen. I don't know. I'm a little shocked, to be quite honest. Tony Kinnett, Daily Signal, also hosts a great radio program on IBC in Indianapolis, Indiana. How you doing, my friend?
I'm having a pretty decent Friday, despite, the shenanigans afoot.
Oh, there are some shenanigans. So we find out that Joe Biden invited Russia to do a limited invasion of Ukraine, and then all of a sudden we were able to come up with $250 billion in money, completely unvetted, just sent over there. A lot of yachts ended up, in the Caribbean and whatnot with Ukrainian names on them, and now we're finding that, they decided they were going to divert $200 million into Joe Biden's campaign coffers in the election in 2024. I don't know. I'm as surprised as you are. I thought Ukraine was not a place where the world's oligarchs go to launder its money.
This is one of the things that I always cackle over, because as someone who's been out of the country before,
yes.
I am consistently just floored by the number of individuals who have to assign universal morality to a country. So, for example, they're like, well, do you want Russia to win in the war? It's like, I don't think you understand. I despise both of these countries.
Yes.
I'm not in favor of any invasion. But Ukraine is like the Kenya of Europe. That is how corrupt it is.
Oh, yeah.
Nairobi's got nothing on Kiev. So, I don't feel bad. I mean, obviously, again, the innocent people who are getting killed because their leaders are awful, different matter, but of course Biden trafficked money through him. I mean, his son Hunter bragged about that.
Yeah, exactly. But, it's kind of interesting, though. I'm a little shocked that he's suffering. He can't make his child support payments, and he just, for some reason, cannot find a job in the oil industry or sell his paintings anymore. What is the deal here? Is he being blacklisted?
I seem to remember a time. So, first of all, I used to be at Indianapolis Public Schools. I was the science coordinator.
You were, yes.
There were jobs waiting for you and then some.
Oh, yes.
At textbook companies and on all of these fancy boards. If you just, tilted things a little certain way while you were in your position, then afterward, if I wanted to be the second brand specialist analyst forever at Pearson, the job's open.
Wow. I would love
to.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, well, just, I'm amazed that he's so bad at his job that he doesn't even have one of those cushy oil, non-profit fraternity jobs waiting for him after he was done, doing the hookers.
I know, it's unbelievable, but clearly also that cocaine was not his, the first cocaine ever found in the White House, while a cocaine addict lived in the White House. It's weird. It's just kind of weird. So what do you think about Iran? We're kicking butt and taking names. Most of those names, Mohammed. We took out the guy who was going to be shutting down the Straits of Hormuz, made him into fish food, and the Democrat Party even yesterday said we were losing. They started saying we were losing on day one, and they're going to be left in the dustbin of history. What do you think?
I think that right now the United States is getting ready to deliver a genuine final blow to this conflict by capturing at least Card Island, perhaps a couple of others. We talked about this in depth last night. It's very likely the United States ends up owning a couple of these islands, and not for nation building. I mean permanent Teddy Rooseveltian style conquering. So that now China has to get most of its oil from us the way that it should be.
Well, it's pretty interesting, and I heard this yesterday, that we could have the Straits of Hormuz no longer under threat in perpetuity, which would be the first time ever.
Well, also the of Brent oil crude being down to like $60, $65 a barrel. It's insane.
I know.
You have that. You have Venezuela. China has been boxed out of the entire global economy by the Trump administration in just 2 years. We've never seen anything like this. No, and I predicted, and I think you probably did as well, that when Donald Trump became the president, that peace, prosperity, and freedom would sweep the globe. And it's happening. It's happening. Unfortunately, one of the places it's not happening is the United States. We got a lot of issues here. I want to play a little soundbite from you. Mike Lee coming out of Congress yesterday, and all he wanted to do was pass a simple ID to vote bill.
In the Senate, we just voted on a simple voter ID measure. This was a scaled-down version of the Save America Act, one that requires only a photo ID at the time and place of voting. and omits the proof of citizenship requirements. Even that was something that every single Democrat in the Senate voted against.
Weird.
Think about it this way. 2 years ago, every Senate Democrat supported a bill that contained a voter ID requirement. What changed?
Well, they know they're going to get their butts kicked up between their shoulders in the midterms because they're not doing anything good for the country. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's hyper-performative. They don't actually want to sign on to anything that Republicans are calling a serious commitment, and this is where the rubber meets the road for a lot of who are often praised as being more moderate.
Yeah.
Senator John Fetterman, who even I have called Senator Fetterman before for having some common sense takes, he said back on February 23rd, if they only put a measure that is just photo ID for elections in front of me, I will vote yes, I will sign on to it. He voted no. He is a liar.
Wow.
I don't want to hear. I mean, I know. The reason that I consistently don't jump on the, maybe Fetterman, he's got a point. No, he still votes like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. He does speak a little bit with common sense. He did the old computer turn it on and turn it off again and then turn it back on and it cleaned up his brain a little bit. But clearly it needs to be defragged. I'm thinking maybe it needs to be defragged too because there are a lot of his policies that are still wicked left of center like his wife. So what do you think is going to happen with this voter ID thing? What do you think is going to happen with the SAVE Act?
Oh, I think there's just going to be a big bunch of nothing.
Yeah,
I think that soon and a bunch of the Republican senators are going to go before the American people, and they're going to sell you this reconciliation lie. And it is a lie. It is not true. They cannot pass this through reconciliation. That is not how it works.
Gotcha.
And when they try to sell you this horse crap, they're going to tell you to enjoy. You ordered a Big Mac with extra sauce and a large fry and a beautiful large Coca-Cola.
Yep.
And the cashiers, the Republican Senate, has come up and delivered you a crusty old half chicken nugget with moldy ketchup and told you to enjoy.
Yeah.
And what we're seeing on social media right now, Rob, is that there is not a single Republican senator who's trying right now to sort of say, well, it's these Democrats are all so bad, as though we didn't know this already. The Republican senators are getting ratioed, destroyed by their own constituents because we're tired of this. Dude.
I'm damn sick and tired of it.
You guys couldn't deliver a frozen pizza.
I swear to God. They delivered a crap sandwich without the bread. On the way, I want to talk about the chaos and death now at America's airports. The body count is going through the ceiling because of ICE agents. We will get to that on the other side of the break with Tony Kinnett from the Daily Signal. This is the Rob Carson Show.
get ICE the hell out of our airports. Donald Trump has brought chaos into our airport in New Jersey. This is his way of doing things. Chaos, cruelty, and corruption. That is visiting upon us now because Donald Trump won't fund TSA. And has
Mike there. That is Cory Booker at New Jersey Airport, Newark Airport, talking about how the chaos that is being sown by ICE agents while people walked around him peacefully. Tony Kinnett, did you see that yesterday?
I did. Cory Booker's done this. He has himself a little travel podium that he bought from Office Depot.
Yes.
And then he puts that on some caster wheels, and he spins that around to the various airports. And he does these little impromptu preacher on the street but without the substance, like warnings.
Yes.
I'm waiting for him to just show up naked with the barrel and the billboard that says "The end is here," that kind of a thing.
Yes. Now, you heard, amidst all the chaos and the murders by ICE agents at airports, that one ICE agent actually rescued a child that was choking. I believe MS Now is reporting that after saving the child, they murdered his dad just out of spite. That's what I heard there. I don't know the rumor. You know anything about that?
Actually, just on that, because I'm glad you brought up this particular report, ICE also took my luggage, ripped it in half like a phone book, and then fed it to a pack of wild dogs.
There you go.
The really crazy part about that is that I wasn't even at the airport. They just showed up and they said, "Sorry, you got any luggage?" And they just started shredding it right there in front of me, and my children were screaming.
Yeah, did you hear about, this is Eric Swalwell, Eric Swalwell talking about what ICE is doing around America.
I don't want to give a penny more to TSA or DHS, even if they are already funded.
Now it's TSA and DHS.
Because what I'm hearing from constituents and what I'm seeing is that they're dragging women by their hair, throwing them into unmarked vans, chasing people through the fields and factories where they work.
Yeah.
They've committed public executions, 2 of them.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, this is so utterly over the top and so easily disprovable, but they still do it. Do they think they're getting away with it? I guess with some of the Democrat base they are.
I just can't hear Eric Swalwell speak without thinking of every single homosexual slur we have a word for. I mean, I'm not even sure at this point if his own staff takes him seriously. And the way that you can always tell is that when the clips of you talking, you getting statements out there, aren't coming from your own office, and they are instead coming from secondary and tertiary media individuals, your own staff doesn't even believe what it is that you're saying. Dragging women by their hair. What weird porn book are you reading, you creep?
Well, let's talk about how you got Fang back to your apartment, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
honestly, I swear to you. He looks like he ate a hair ice cream cone. When he tries to grow that beard, it looks like it's unnatural. It's like somebody just took some whiskers and pasted it on your face like that magnetic. Remember that little magnetic guy that you take the metal.
The Willie thing. Weird Willie, whatever.
Weird Willie. It kind of looks like Weird Willie or whatever the hell that damn thing was. You could buy and you could put the iron shavings as whiskers. That's what his face looks like. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Democrats have planned for the midterms, here is Democrat Representative Delia Ramirez.
We will melt ICE, and I have a bill to do just that. We will dismantle the Department of Homeland Security.
Wow.
Because frankly, at this juncture, nothing less is acceptable.
Yeah, they also want to get rid of the CBP. So they want to do open borders again, Tony. They're broadcasting this.
Look, I want to just be as insulting as possible here. So first of all, sweetie, that's not what the word juncture is for.
Yeah.
You're not going to the Hakeem Jeffries School of Vocabulary. Number 2, I love watching Democrats try to trot out, like you heard Hakeem Jeffries saying, he got laughed at, mocked. So he's like, who's out there talking about me? Yeah, that's what I thought, from the podium. Because he was just up there saying, well, we Democrats really care about safety and security and homeland security. And the House, on the Republican side, I actually called my representative to ask what was going on that he had to yell at. He said, we all just started cracking up because we couldn't believe those words were coming out of his mouth. And Delia Ramirez, the clip you just played, is a perfect reason why. They run these little socialist Bernie Sanders in skirts for these office positions, and then they pretend all of a sudden like they didn't invite the radical wolf into the house and give them access to the children.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you very much. 100%. I want to mention something, because you're Indiana Hoosiers. They won the NCAA football championship in the fall. In my home state of Iowa, is kind of knocking on, well, I don't know if they'll make it all the way to the championship, but they beat Nebraska, they beat Florida, and they're in the Elite Eight, my home state of Iowa. I was born in Nebraska, actually. And I was kind of I was sad for Nebraska. But Iowa is kind of on the way. We'll see, right?
I've always been kind of fond of the Hawkeyes. I mean, I can't really say that I'm like the world's biggest Iowa fan. I think out in that region, I'm probably more partial to the Jayhawks. But either way, I'll say that beating Florida always gives me a smile. And whether that was Purdue beating Miami, and then last night that buzzer beater against Texas. My goodness.
Yes. Do you do the bracket at all? I don't do the bracket. I haven't done the bracket generally, because like most of us, we fill out the bracket, and then like Florida or somebody gets booted, and your bracket is immediately killed because you have no idea who's going to win in this thing.
I have a confession. When I was a teacher, I used to have my entire back wall of my classroom filled, and I mean Florida ceiling, wall-to-wall filled with brackets. Teachers would come in and say, "Oh, did you have your students make brackets?" I'd say, "No, those are just all mine."
I could see Mr. Kinnett at the front of the class. "Okay, kids, I'm passing around my baseball cap. Give me your lunch money. If you want to get in on this, let's get going." You probably did some great lessons on gambling.
Students keep certain brackets like up to date, but now this year I only had 5.
You only had 5. And how are you doing, by the way?
All 5 are dead.
Okay, of course. All right, man.
I'm not good, but I'm passionate.
Absolutely, 100%. This is why I don't do fantasy football. With my fantasy football is like, I don't know, Beyonce playing quarterback. It gets weird. It's not anything to do with statistics. I mean, it's completely something different and kind of hot. But anyway, that's the old. You know what? I'm so bad at sports and sports booking. I lose money on ESPN Classic. I do.
That's a good one. I like that.
Thank you. I swear to God, three years ago, I thought the Chiefs were going to beat the Eagles, and I put money against them, and they said, "Dude, they lost. You lived in Kansas City." Oh, crap. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it. That's going to do it for Tony today. Tony, tell everybody where they can watch your podcast tonight.
YouTube.com/Daily Signal. We've got a lot of great stuff coming tonight. Head over. We'll see you there.
All right, brother. Talk to you soon. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Hey, guys. It's Carson. I just came up with that joke this week. All right, kids. How are you? How are you, Pat Carr? Good to see you guys. I'm going to get over here on Twitter. Twitter looking good. A couple thousand people watching over there. Shebrat, Gary Madden, how you doing? KY or no KY? What the hell are you talking about? Shebrat, did he spit or swallow? And KY or no KY? What are you talking about? Oh, swallows well. Yeah, Eric swallows well. Yes. The guy who looks like Mr. Willie. Is it Mr. Willie? Hold on. I can't remember what it is. You remember that thing? You take the magnet and you put the whisker shavings on him. Yeah, that was our version of video games when we were children. You could play with that damn thing all day. Anyway, hello, R-Woo. Good to see you. Hello, folk, you say. Steve Hardwater. Steve Hardwater, you're new. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you. Welcome to the crew. Rita in Tennessee up there. Jamie Bellett, always good to see you there as well. Let's go over to Facebook. Facebook. We got a lot of Facebookies. People watch on all these platforms. It's wonderful. You've got a great community. Have you? Oh, we got to talk about this trip, man. Have you got your tickets for the trip to D.C.? It's going to be fun, guys. I'm going to tell you. From what I've heard, it's been selling very well. So it's going to be pretty amazing. If you want to know, it is travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net. Okay. Waiting for my comments to load on Facebook. Oh, hi there, Jellyfish Hunter and Robert Lawson. Hello, Rob. Thanks for joining me today. We got a loaded show, a lot more stuff coming up here. A lot more stuff coming up. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We'll do Victor Davis Hanson next. Here we go.
Yeah, about 3.5. I got a little rejoin.
Rejoin.
Poor little Democrats. Are you guys okay today? That I came in to check on you. Every time Trump does something good, you guys spaz out. Would you guys shut up and let him work?
Victor Davis Hanson.
It has nothing to do with DHS. They said, okay, we're going to hurt you in a different way. We're going to stop all security at all the airports. We're going to not pay these people for over a month. And the Republicans said, well, why don't we just talk about ICE? The Democrats can't talk about it because half the party, Ilhan Omar, AOC, and all these people, they don't want any ICE. So many people now are invested in having no immigration system that the idea that anybody would be deported is Gestapo-like to them. They can't come up with any reason why you would shut down the government to hurt DHS when DHS won't be hurt. The real cause, they want to repeat what they did last year and hurt the economy, destroying the airline industry, making people angry. They've canceled a lot of flights, and they want to hurt the economy because they don't have an agenda. I've never seen anything like it. I mean that sincerely. I've never seen a political party without an agenda.
100%. They are pretty evil. I said this. They're going to have to reinvent themselves or disappear into the dustbin of history. And we got to drive them into the dustbin of history. This is a war. The midterm is a war. You better sign up. You better enlist. This is a war. This is for the future of the country. You'd better enlist and be ready to fight. We have got to win. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, the country goes. And I'll tell you that if we lose either House of Congress and they go after Donald Trump, there's going to be all sorts of bleep hitting the fan for me and my homies. Yeah, my homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews. You bet your butt. It's the 250th anniversary of our birth of a nation. Most of us are not going to make the 300th, so why not come to Washington, D.C. with me on October 25th through the 29th? We waited a long time to get Donald Trump here, overcome more hurdles than you could possibly imagine. They tried to put him in jail, take his fortune, take him off the ballot, and murder him. But we won. We never gave up. I moved to Washington, D.C. because I wanted to bring you with me, and now you can come with me, okay? What we're doing here is 5 days, 4 nights, hotel accommodations at a glorious hotel in the heart of D.C., 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. We're going to take it all in the White House tour center, the U.S. Capitol building, Arlington National Cemetery for the changing of the guard, Lincoln Memorial, the reflecting pool. I might even jump in and get a woman in the crowd to do the Forrest Gump Jenny thing. I don't know, maybe I'll get arrested, but I'll do it for you. So if you want to be a part of this trip, and I would suggest you get on it because it's going to sell out, travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net, or 800-383-3131, 800-383-3131. I'm going to embrace this with every ounce of my being because you and I did this. You and I came here, and you and I are going to turn this city around. The city has already turned around. It's amazing. We're going to turn this country around, and we're going to save this country. That's what they're in the middle of, and you should come and celebrate with me. Travelwithrob.net, travelwithrob.net, or 800-383-3131. Get on today and get it booked because I have a feeling it's going to go quickly. October 25th through the 29th. Let's take a break and come back. Hour number 2 of the Rob Carson Show coming up. Don't go anywhere.
about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is finally Friday. Welcome to it. Mary Walter joins us at the bottom of the hour. I've got a bunch of stuff lined up for her. And it's always a lot of fun. We like to, loosen things up a little bit on Friday. It's always funny. Thursday afternoon, I say, tomorrow I can just skate. It's Friday. I got 3 guests and all of this. And then what happens? Then I end up doing 10 hours of show prep, which I did gladly because I want to give you the best show possible. I want to entertain, inform you, motivate you, give you some ammunition, all of that stuff. So that's what I try to do. A lot of things to get to. CPAC's going on, by the way. Mercedes and Matt Schlapp were down there. I didn't know that Mercedes' parents were from Cuba. They were expats and saw a lot of abuse from the Cubans and all of that. But they were talking about the midterms and how important they are, and they are. And I'm using the word war for a reason. It is a war. I mean this very seriously. We are in the midst of a war. The Democrat Party has had a de facto civil war going on for a decade with America. They have soldiers for hire being paid for Neville Singham, George Soros. They have marshaled their soldiers to go out. In the summer of 2020, they burned their way across America. They are now doing anti-American protests, pro-terror protests in places like Philadelphia. I'll get to that very shortly. And those are the people who want to run the country. Those are the people who want to destroy the country. And the Democrat Party is already hinting. Today, I've already played several sound bites. They want to get rid of DHS. They want to get rid of the CBP, the border, and they want to get rid of any security apparatus for the country. They want to open the border completely and do exactly what they did when Joe Biden was the president, except for they're going to make it a lot worse. So we are in a war. You need to enlist in our army. I'm going to use that kind of language just the way it is, because this is really serious. Well, this is really serious. This is the same sort of war we got into that founded the country 250 years ago. Taxation without representation in places like, Washington, D.C. Taxation without representation. 70% of Democrats want voter ID. 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill don't want voter ID. That's taxation without representation. 95% of us don't want children having sexual mutilative surgery and puberty blockers. 100% of Democrats on Capitol Hill want that. Taxation without representation. Mercedes Schlapp.
But there is also a bigger reason why we're here in Texas. We know that Texas is going to be pretty much ground zero. As you know, there's an important Senate race here. We have the runoff happening.
Ken Paxton tomorrow.
Ken Paxton is hosting and speaking at the Reagan dinner, which is a traditional a tradition here at CPAC. We invited John Cornyn to come. He's invited. You still can come, John, if you want to.
Shocker, he's not coming.
He's not coming. But this is really going to take the temperature, because we need to know where the movement is in terms of understanding that the midterm elections right now, Carl, that should be front and center.
Talking to Carl Higbee on Newsmax. Thank you very much.
We cannot afford to lose the House. We cannot afford to lose the Senate. We're going to have Senate candidates here. We're going to have House candidates here as well. Make their case. Say, look, we got to make sure we maintain these majorities, because otherwise you're going to see.
We need to maintain and expand them, because the 2 years after the midterms, we've really got to put the pedal to the metal on sending back illegals. And putting people in jail for all of their crimes that they've committed against us. Here is President Trump talking about crooked politicians in Minnesota, and of course they're everywhere.
These crooks in Minnesota, these crooked politicians and dirty cops. They're dirty cops, they're dirty politicians. Waltz is a dirty, crooked politician.
He is.
The Attorney General is a crooked guy. He's no investigations, and I hope JD's...
Here's the thing. If you can run a state and the people in charge don't recognize when funding for autism clinics goes from $5 million a year to $400 million a year. When you are in charge and you don't notice the Feeding Our Kids program, $250 million, and they're saying that tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of meals are being served out of a little tiny restaurant that can seat 10, or when you go into a building and you see 50 places that are offering some sort of child care where no children are involved, they know what's going on. Gavin Newsom knew about all of the crap that's in California. Tim Walz and Keith Ellison knew exactly what's going on in Minnesota. You cannot be that inept. And the only thing is, why did Gavin Newsom, why is he buying an $8 million mansion? You know what kind of money you got to have to buy an $8 million mansion? $8 million. Yeah, you'll need more than that because property taxes and all that other stuff. The governor is buying an $8 million mansion.
He's going to do a great job. He's in charge of it now with somebody who's very talented. But I think it's easy stuff. They say $19 billion.
Minimum.
Think of it. Is missing. $19 billion. You know, if we would solve half of the fraud problem, Pam, in this country, we would have more than a balanced budget. We'd have a surplus. And in the case of Minnesota, it's a lot. It's very Somalia oriented.
Uh-oh, that's racist.
Think of it. These people come from a crooked country, disgusting country, one of the worst countries in the world.
The meth lab trailer park of the world.
Acknowledged to be one of the worst countries in the world. Some people say it's the worst. They have no money. They have nothing. They come to our country, low IQs, and they rob us blind.
They did, and they have, by the way. Here is Stephen Miller talking about how would you feel? And I tell you what, I'm angry because I know my tax money has gone to massive fraud, particularly Medicaid, to the tune of billions, possibly trillions of dollars. I also know that my vote was stolen at least one election in 2020. 100%, I believe. My vote was stolen. Your vote was stolen. If you voted for Donald Trump in 2020, your vote was stolen. You can't say that. Yeah, I can. Absolutely 100% I can. Here's Stephen Miller.
What this does to public trust, social trust, people's faith in the system, right? Imagine in a community, a working class community.
Why the hell am I paying taxes? Why am I paying taxes if I can't be represented and if my vote doesn't mean anything? And if my tax dollars are going to get stolen by people here who don't want to assimilate and just want to take.
In the Twin Cities, say a native Minnesotan who works as a lineman or works as a construction worker, works in any job that requires hard work, dedication, focus, who's worried about his ability to support for and provide his family. And then imagine that he has a neighbor who's a Somali refugee who arrived 2 years ago and has a Mercedes and no financial stress and no worries at all in the entire world and never seems to ever go to work at all because he just went to an office in the state, lied on a piece of paper, and got unlimited free money forever for life.
Unbelievable. We have encountered, and I said this during the election, I said, we have experienced abuses and usurpations the founders would have never dreamed of. Our government is more corrupt and awful than we could have ever imagined. Of course, we mentioned the Senate confirmed the first ever assistant attorney general to investigate nationwide fraud. Colin McDonald, which is great. J.D. Vance is also in charge of that. Start delivering some subpoenas and indictments and trials and guilty verdicts and jail and denaturalize people who come here and commit these fraudulent acts and denaturalize these people who come here and don't want to assimilate to the culture and want to espouse violence against America or Sharia law. Get your rear ends out of the country. Democrat Representative Sheila Phyllis McCormick of Florida committed numerous violations of health rules and ethics standards, a ruling that could add weight to Republicans' push to expel her from Congress. The allegation centered around a receipt of millions of dollars from her family's health care business after the state of Florida made an overpayment of roughly $5 million in disaster relief funds. This politician, McCormick, is accused of using that money to fund her 2022 congressional campaign through a network of business and family members. The congresswoman who's running for a fourth term representing southeastern Florida has denied wrongdoing. Ethics Committee could fuel a potential vote on her expulsion and divide a Democrat caucus that is trying to make a comeback to power in the November elections. Phyllis McCormick also faces federal charges for allegedly stealing $5 million in COVID-19 disaster relief funds, using it for purchases like a 3-carat yellow diamond ring. Her brother, former chief of staff, maybe husband, and accountant were also charged in the alleged scheme. It is time to deliver some indictments and put some people in jail. Here's Jim Gossett singing about Minneapolis. Tim Hoots.
With the actions he's taken, Jacob Bright is making Minneapolis a clown town. Ice fries a bows, and while Tim Wolves is dozing, city has become a clown town. Ilhan Omar's hiding fraud, Keith Ellison's obstructing a war on law enforcement. Jacob Fry's conducting. Tampon Tim is so incompetent. Most Minnesotans want no more of him. It's a clown town, Minneapolis, clown town. It's far from fabulous, clown town. Once great cities become.
Man, that's good. That is so
clown
good.
Town.
There you go.
Clown Town.
Jim Gossett did that, by the way, and if you want to help him out, go to patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. On the way, Wes Moore, the governor of Maryland, went to the Orioles home opener and got booed. I'm thinking it was because they didn't pass that bill to put tampon machines in the ballpark's men's rooms. Or it could be that he's so bloody corrupt and he's destroying the state. You figure it out. We'll take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show.
Veterans and active duty servicemen.
Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here. Deported. 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 Get him out. Ready? Are you ready? Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Radio 680 W 9.9 FM in Harford County.
The media and our friends in the Democrat Party kept saying we needed new legislation. We must have legislation to secure the border. But it turned out that what we really needed was a new president.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Also, all we needed is a new president to end Iran's nuclear ambitions. It's kind of remarkable how that happened. You know, to take Maduro out of power in Venezuela, all it took was a different president. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird to bring manufacturing back to America? All it took was a different president. It's crazy. It shouldn't happen, but it did because, you know what? We soldiered on. We fought back against everything, against odds that no one would have imagined Donald Trump winning. But he did it, and he's in office, so we got to take advantage of it. I got some good news today.
We love to win.
I'm going to play our winning jingle.
We love to win. Winning, winning, so much winning. It's lots of winning. Lots of winning, lots of winning, lots of winning, lots of winning, lots of winning. It's oh so good.
You know, Apple used to build all of its product over there in China by, slave Uyghurs and whatnot, but they're going to start building stuff here.
Apple is expanding its American manufacturing program, bringing in 4 new...
Barack Obama said, I don't have no magic wand. I can't bring manufacturing back to America. Well, you got some sort of magic trick, some kind of hook. What's going on there?
Partners, Bosch, Cirrus Logic, TDK, and Kinnett Electronics. And they're going to manufacture components on U.S. soil for Apple products sold worldwide.
Well, that's going to be in American jobs.
It's $400 million in new investment through 2030.
That's amazing.
Now, this is about parts, not finished products. The chips, sensors, and glass, those are increasingly made here. TDK is manufacturing sensors in the U.S. for the first time, including tech used for iPhone camera stabilization. Bosch is producing chips for features like activity tracking at TSMC's facility in Washington State. And Cirrus Logic is working with global foundries in New York.
There you go. I mean, the good news is they're bringing back manufacturing. Isn't that cool? Meanwhile, states like Massachusetts did a millionaire's tax, and they're driving the state into bankruptcy.
How much money did they take with them?
So we're talking about 2023 because that's when this tax took effect. And in that same year, the state lost 41,000 residents. And with them, they took $4.2 billion in adjusted gross income.
Yeah.
The amount of income lost was an 8% increase year over year.
There you go, absolutely. And Democrat-run states are going into the pits of hell. One of them is the state of Maryland I used to live in. I was seeing this report last night on the Fox affiliate in Baltimore, and it was very sad because I have not been back to the Inner Harbor since my son was probably 15, which would be 11 years ago, and it has gone to hell in a handbasket. It's just gone to hell in a handbasket. There's nobody down there. There are like 2 hotels still there, and they're closing. And the idiot mayor of Baltimore, who is a man-child, he thinks that they're going to put housing down there or apartments down there when all the retail is gone. They used to have this Hard Rock Cafe there, and this Barnes & Noble and this old power plant. It was just cool as hell. They had a USS Constitution, an old like early 1800s battleship, and then they had another like a submarine there you can get tours on and all that, and you can walk around and you can eat at a dozen restaurants, and they're all gone now. They're all gone now. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, 2020. Thank you, all of the violence. Thank you, letting out criminal, illegal aliens out of jail. Thank you, not arresting, youth who are committing massive amounts of crime and then letting them out onto the streets. The Democrat policies did this, guys. And then, of course, Wes Moore, the Fresh Prince of Maryland, who's been running more for president than anything and doing absolutely D-word for Richard. You know, the Key Bridge was hit by a ship. They didn't hold the guy who ran into the damn bridge and knocked the whole dang bridge down. They didn't charge the $2 billion that it's going to cost, which inevitably will be $10 billion because Democrats are involved. But they didn't charge them with anything, really. They got off with a slap on the wrist. And 2 years later, Wes Moore's bragging about how great it is. They got one section of a bridge that's miles long done, and it's like 100 yards. So Wes Moore shows up at Oriole Stadium for the big home opener yesterday. I wish I could have been there. And he was introduced, not warmly welcomed. There you go. Absolutely 100%. I would like to see Maryland actually pull its head out of its tuchus, But unfortunately, the state is bloody well crooked. Everything about the state is corrupt. And I'm sure that if Nick Shirley came here, he'd find all to Maryland and Virginia probably, all sorts of corruption. Although the corruption is coming to Virginia because of Abigail Scamberger as the governor of the state. And one of the dumbest things that happened in Maryland this week is some Democrats thought it'd be a good idea to put tampons in the men's rooms at Orioles and Ravens ballparks, which is the dumbest thing ever. Here is Delegate Kathy Zaliga calling out the moron who brought this up. And by the way, this idiot who did this, everywhere he goes, people should throw tampons at him. I'm not kidding. Everyone should throw tampons at this guy.
Menstrual hygiene products means appropriately sized tampons. What are appropriately sized tampons? I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
What do you consider appropriate?
It just means that tampons are offered. There's no specific size.
Well,
Delegate Ken Kerr. Ken Kerr, remember that name? Have just a box of tampons in the car, and if you see him, just toss a little tampon at it gently, nothing major. Or just walk up and say, "Hey, I didn't want you to be without a tampon as a man."
Apparently, there's 4 different sizes. So which one would?
Mini maxi, there's pearls, there's all sorts of crap. I don't even know. Every time I go, or went when I was married, I'd go to Target and I'd have to walk up and say, "Hey, can I ask you a question here? What exactly are the maxi mini super duper absorbent whatevers?"
Would you like them to use?
Just a regular size.
They'd be like, "Oh, you mean the whatever, sir?" And I'm like, "No, good, can you just keep it down a little?"
Tampon in the bathroom.
Okay, maybe it should say that and not appropriately sized tampon. Now, is this going in all bathrooms, men's and women's?
No, that's the dumbest thing ever.
How about the Ravens Stadium?
If it is a state-owned building, then yes, it would go in.
He should be haunted by this the rest of his life. Ken Kerr. I concur. Actually, no, I completely disagree. Ken Kerr. What a doofus. My God in heaven. This is kind of cool. No, actually, I'm going to save it. Yesterday, also at the home opener, they had a World War II veteran there. They had a 109-year-old World War II veteran there. Oh, it was unbelievable. Price of gold, right about $4,500 today, by the way. Price of gold right about $4,500, allowing you to get in at a great price. It's at $44.86. $44.86. It's kind of giving you a little pause to get in and buy gold. It's a perfect time because it was a lot more expensive a while back. Remember back in January, you're lamenting. You're like, dude, I can't get into $5,600. I'm never going to be able to fit $5,600. Well, now it's at $4,500. What are you waiting for? It had a meteoric raise in value over the years. In fact, the last 20 years has been incredible. So you got 20 years, and then you got a couple months where it went down a little bit. It's giving you a chance. Text my name, Rob, to 989898 for Birch Gold. Birch Gold is the company that I choose because they have my money. It's not a lot of money, but it's all the money I got. Text Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. Get information, no obligación. Mary Walter joins us next. Don't go anywhere. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation, guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131 or travelwithrob.net. Hey, guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed.
Why you bugging?
Come on. Woo.
Mary, I need your hugging.
Does your husband, Mary, like to use this song, on like a romantic evening now? Is he going to put this on the record player there? What do you suppose? Has he?
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
Really? Do you have any music that you guys like to listen to?
Listen, in what sense? Is this going to get weird?
No, it doesn't have to. It could. It doesn't have to.
I prefer that it not.
It's the way my mind works. I have the sense of humor of a 14-year-old boy, and I live by myself. Thank you very much. Here's something kind of interesting.
There could be a corollary there. That's all I'm
thinking you're exactly right. So here's the deal. There is a professional athlete named Castor Semenya. So it's spelled Castor and then Semenya. Okay, this is a transgendered athlete, and this transgendered athlete is born a male and has to say this.
The medical terms, what they tell me, my testosterone, being born, without the uterus, being born with internal testicles, those don't make me less a woman. Yeah. It's just the differences that I was born.
He says that his testicles do not make him less of a woman. I wanted to throw that out there. What do you think?
And the lack of the uterus. So, first of all, castor, like the oil, right?
Yes, or a castrate.
Well, no, that was totally different. But all right. So weren't we past this? I thought we were past this.
No, it's still there. There's all sorts of goofy. There's all sorts of goofy crap out there. You want to hear? I got this whole. I got this little montage here. This is a montage. This is the weekend gender madness because it has made a massive comeback.
The idea that I have to get up here and say that trans women are women and that's what I have to use my time to do is absurd. Shame on you. Shame on all of you. And shame on you for using lesbian politics as a front for your transphobia because this lesbian has had plenty of girlfriends with penises.
Yeah. What else? Hold on.
Confused?
What are appropriately sized tampons? I've never heard of such a thing. What do you consider appropriate?
It just means that tampons are offered.
Now, it's a couple of things going there. There was one woman who's a lesbian who says she's had plenty of lesbian partners with penises, which is a very circuitous way to be straight. And then in the state of Maryland, they wanted to put tampons in the Orioles and Ravens ballpark men's rooms. That, fortunately, failed. So they're not giving up. They're not going down without a fight, by the way.
Yeah, so I saw the video of that first chick.
Yes.
There's a lot going on there. So, her saying, well, I've had plenty of girlfriends with penises. And I was just like, I'll bet you did. So...
Well, in that case, I've had plenty of boyfriends with vaginas.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. And the fact that what I love is that we're not giving them time anymore. That second conversation was phenomenal because she stood up there and she's like, well, what size is appropriate? I wanted her to ask her, where exactly do men use tampons? Like, I wanted her to nail him to the wall, and she did not. And then I think Pennsylvania had to cancel their Women's Month. They had Women's History Month or something that they were going to do. Yeah. Because there was somebody stood up and said, well, I'm all for this, but only if you can tell me what a woman is.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
And they couldn't define a woman, and so they got in an argument over defining a woman. So there's no more Women's History Month.
This is critical stupid. I mean, this is unplug the patient, they're dead. I mean, my God in heaven. I was just thinking about this. I might have an ex-husband with a vagina. I just put two and two together.
You could. You possibly could.
I've been married to a man with a vagina for 28 years.
And it took you 28 years to figure it out.
Yeah,
it was
pretty
like
much.
Lola. It was like the song.
Yeah, there you go. Now, you brought up this. This is really funny. I saw an LGBTQ, RSTUV, whatever, person the other day at a city council meeting. They're like, you guys always malign trans people as being predators. And here goes Nashville Predators. They're what are they, NHL franchise? Apparently they wanted to do LGBTQI Pride Night. And the Predators, it's too perfect. It's too perfect.
The logo is draped. It's like a rainbow threw up on their uniforms and their hockey sticks and their logo, and it's the Predators. Like, do people not think? I would love to have been in the board meeting where someone said, "Oh, we should call them the Predators." You know, we should. Was the hockey team named the Predators the whole time?
I don't know, but
my confusion comes in because I thought it's an LGBTQ plus gay hockey team called the Predators. That's what I thought.
That would have been really bad. That would have been really, really, really bad. Can you imagine if somebody's from out of the country and they're staying at your house and you say, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" "Well, I'm going to take the kids to the Predators," or "I'm going to drop the kids off at the Predators."
But see, this is weird. This is what happens when people's sole source of being able to function is based on emotion.
I know.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And there is they don't use anything from, well, they use their mouths a lot because they spew stupidity, but nothing above, like, the nose is being used. Their eyes are not being used because that dude has a beard and a mustache and he's 6'7" and his name is not Dolly. I don't care what you call him. It is not Dolly. So, and the brains, they're not engaging at all.
It's absurdity. Voltaire said those who pursue absurdity are bound to commit atrocities. I can't remember. I'm paraphrasing right now. But did you know SNL did a bit about the Predators a few years ago? Did you know about that?
No.
I'm going to play you a clip. It's beautiful. Watch this.
The NHL
Listen to this.
is proud of the charity work we do in our communities.
That's right. I may be a king on the ice, but I'm also a king in the community.
And I'm a ranger in my community. And I'm a predator in my community. When you see this face, just know predators in the community.
Yeah.
Wait. Can we cut?
Cut! What's the issue, man?
Yeah, I mean, do I have to say that I'm a predator in my community?
Why not? You play for the Nashville Predators.
Yeah, but I mean, you hear how it sounds, right?
Okay, so it's gonna be one of those shoots. Diva alert!
I sense it too. Let's move on. We're losing light.
All right, here we go. One more time.
Indoors.
I'm sorry. Did you get an avail check to AD a Justin Long Chobani commercial?
I don't know.
All right, we'll come back to it. It was a little bit long there. There's another line that's fantastic, but they did it on the Predators a couple years ago. Who came up with the Predators?
We know now that it was an established team beforehand, so that answers my question.
Yes, but generally, if you're concerned about being labeled a predator, you don't want to make LGBTQI Pride Night at the Predators.
Yeah. Like I said, if I win the lottery, I just want to be able to spend my time going to board meetings with these big companies when they have their DEI meetings. And I'll bring my own popcorn.
Oh, God, yes.
Just so I could hear. So very quickly,
yes.
So I have a neighbor who's Italian, but he's very dark Italian, right?
Yes.
And in the summer, he gets very dark.
Yes.
And he is convinced, and he's a CEO for international acquisitions at a large company that I'm not going to name, but they're big, like they have to do all the DEI stuff. He goes, I am convinced that they don't know that I'm white. They think I'm like some kind of hybrid, like a mix. Like I'm from mixed racial background. And he goes, and I've never set them straight ever.
100%. Why the heck not? The next job I get, I'm going to say that I was married to a man with a vagina for 28 years. Then I can say I'm gay. All right, let's take a break and come back more with Mary Walter on the other side. This is the Rob Carson Show. Okay, I got to find this soundbite. Hold on.
Any of that means.
As a New York Ranger, I'm serving my community by working in soup kitchens.
As an LA King, I volunteer with the elderly.
And as a Nashville Predator, I work in hospitals to make sick kids feel touched. Hey, come on, guys. Come on.
What is the meaning of all
That is SNL a couple of years ago, making fun of the Nashville Predators, who had an LGBTQIA plus night the other night, and apparently got a lot. They made fun of it, made fun of them. Can you imagine? Just to ask people asking you, I'm a professional athlete. Really? What are you? I'm a predator. You know.
Well, I never knew they existed before this, so maybe, they say there's no such thing as bad publicity, but hockey fans are the second most right-leaning group
yes.
of the fans for different sports. Why in God's name would they do something like that when they know that their audience is right-leaning?
I don't understand why you need to, like, for instance, where I live, they still have rainbow-colored crosswalks. It's like, wow, it's so important that I walk on a gay crosswalk. I mean, honestly, really. All right, well, let's do it. Let's do a non-binary crosswalk down the street, for Christ's sake. I mean, honestly, what the hell is going on here? Why would...
It's virtue signaling.
It is, of course it's virtue signaling.
You chose to move there. You had to know that it was very left-leaning.
Well, all I know is when I walk across those crosswalks, I suddenly saunter. It's weird. It just kind of happens. Like, you ever been walking along and you realize you're listening to your earbuds, you're walking to the beat of the music? When I come to one of those, I'm like, I'm going across the street now. I'm like, stop it now, stop it. I step off the color onto the pavement. I'm cool. Then I get back on, and suddenly I'm fabulous. It happens, Mary. It happens.
Well, if you start to skip, you're going to need therapy.
All right, here we go. This is another example of stupidity. Inside the Manosphere is a new Netflix documentary that has fueled discussions about a relationship style. Non-monogamous relationships can take many forms, including polyamory, open marriages, solo poly, and polycules. But there is also one called one-sided monogamy. Now, this used to be cheating. They're calling it... one-sided monogamy. So if your husband said, hey, Mary, I want to do this one-sided monogamy thing, and I want you to be monogamous, what would you say?
Well, I'm at that point in my life where, lawyers and splitting it all up would be a lot of work. So I would be like, that's fine. So, we'll mix it up. You can live in that room, and I'll live in this room, and we'll put down some rules where she can't come in. And, honestly, if she does some house cleaning, I think I might be down with it.
Well, if suddenly he hires someone named, or he gets a 19-year-old Swedish au pair to come and stay during the summer, you might be worried about it a little bit there. I actually
it would free up my summers for stuff that I want to do.
This is so perfect.
Yeah, I'm kind of at that point now because, if I get half, I'm cool with that at this point.
Yeah, hell, if she can do some stuff around the house, as long as I don't see it, shut the door. Cool, right. We're cool. All right.
She can reach the spaces I'm too old to get now.
I don't know. You're a pretty fine-looking woman there, Mary. Good darn it.
You can clean under stuff because I don't want to bend over anymore.
I know. It's the same damn thing.
Kind of thing.
I caught myself the other day. I'm starting to bend over and pick up stuff like an older guy. It used to be you just bend down and pick it up. Now you're kind of like you got to steady yourself, and then one hand on the counter. And
do you make the sound, though? Do you go, ugh?
I do not make the sound. I do make it to the gym, so I still do that. I'm trying to avoid that at all costs. Step aside, cocaine bears make way for cocaine sharks. Apparently, sharks in the Bahamas, due to partygoers discharging drugs, including painkillers and caffeine, they are testing sharks positive for cocaine. That is not a good thing. And you certainly don't want them testing positive for weed, because if you get weed, you get the munchies, and they're going to start looking at people who are surfing and going, Looks
like a Cheeto.
Looks like a Cheeto.
Yeah, they think, because what sharks do is they will bite stuff. So a lot of this has to do with, apparently, when these cocaine boats,
yes,
if they're getting chased, or something, they throw the cocaine over the side, right? Or if the boats sink.
Yep.
And so what sharks do, if they're not sure if something is food, they bite it anyway, just to see.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And so that's how they somehow get the cocaine into their systems. But this is also a problem, with birth control and things like that going into our water systems.
Yeah.
And
because then the sharks will get promiscuous because they're like, she's not going to get pregnant, and then the male sharks just want to have sex all the time with no commitment, and it's not good.
it could be a one-sided monogamy on his part. As a callback, see what I did there?
We're going to need a bigger boat.
But, yeah, but, this is why they don't want you to flush old pills down the toilet anymore.
Really? Really?
Oh, yeah, that's been going on for years. Like, our town does a roundup, and you just bring it all to the police department, and they, like, burn. It's disposed of, like, by burning or something.
I don't. If I have any left over, like pain meds from the dentist, I sell them to the kids in the neighborhood. I mean, seriously, you can get a couple bucks a piece for them. You can make some serious money.
Well, yeah, and wait, are we hearkening back to the whole predator topic now?
Yeah, there we go. All right. You're always fun on a Friday, Mary. Where can people find, now you're going to go through a litany of all the places you can be seen and heard and all of this.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Am I allowed to mention other radio stations, or is that a bad thing?
I don't care. Go ahead.
Well, I'm on Sirius Patriot tonight from 9 p.m. to midnight.
Gotcha.
I was there yesterday.
Gotcha.
I'll be there again tonight.
Gotcha.
On Tuesdays, you can find me on Todd Starnes' show on Newsmax 2 and 2 between 5 and 6 p.m. on N2. And then my podcast is on Tuesdays. 7:15 is live. 7:15 Eastern Time on Rumble, YouTube, and Getter, and it's a lot of fun. It's a live cast. Rob Carson was just recently on, about a month or so ago.
Yep.
And you can get the audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Just Google Barry Walter Radio.
Through that.
Just Google Barry Walter Radio. When you're on the radio tonight, 9 to midnight, that's when the house cleaner's going to be coming over, by the way. I thought you should know. All right.
I wish.
All right, I can take a break. Mary, God bless you. Have a glorious weekend. Let's take a break. This is the Rob Carson Show. Mary. Oh, she's funny. That is really funny. Rob is a rock star. Well, thank you. Stop it. What, Willie, if it's raining? Okay, I don't know that. Let me see here. America's worth saving. That is true. Thank you very much. We got Lemonade on there. Lemonade, good to see you, Lemonade. You guys watching over there on the Rumbly Root. Pardon me, my glasses are a little foggy. Whenever I talk to Mary Walter, my glasses get a little foggy. She's a lot of fun, though, isn't she? Isn't she a lot of fun? All right, hold on. Let's look over here. You know what? I'm going to need the window washers. Holy hell. This is not good. Here. Hold on. This is alcohol. It's a little foggy. I can't see ya. You should be so fortunate as not to see me. Anyway, get this cleaned up here real quick. Janine Page, see, I can still read without him. Gary Madden, good to see you there, guys. We appreciate you being on the air, watching me. Over here on YouTubeage. Sabrina G, Gladys Kravitz, back as always. My God, look at the comments. Sharks don't have drag queen syndrome. I don't know what that's all about, but sure. Sharks smell blood drop for tens of miles. Absolutely 100%. No tampons in boys' restrooms in Texas public schools. Jen, good job. And it's so bloody stupid. I mean, honestly, it's an insult to men. It's bad enough they got men and women's sports, but men aren't going to put up with this crap. Men just aren't going to put up with this crap. It's just stupid. Men are not going to put up with this crap. All right, here we go. I got to talk. Oh, I got to play this. I got a soundbite coming up here. All night. Here we go. I got to talk. Sorry.
It's 3 minutes here.
Okay. Show me how to live. Audio Slave. My favorite song ever. And if you're asking God to show you how to live, you're not looking in the right place. It's up to you. Tom Morello on guitar. Show Me How to Live is an anthem for my life. And unfortunately, Chris Cornell, who's the lead singer of Audio Slave, was chronically depressed. He killed himself. And he was asking God in that song, you gave me life, now show me how to live. You're going to have to, you're on your own. You're on your own. You'll get some guidance, but you got to figure it out. I know. It's kind of heavy to think about, but it's true. It's true in your life. I met a guy outside the gym, and he just lost his job. And we just kind of were looking at this Audi R8 car there, and he's there. And I said, my name's Rob, and he goes, and he said he lost his job, and I told him, I said, well, you know what you need to do? What? He goes, you need to increase the value of your currency, okay, learn new things, and do what you got to do to get where you want to be. That's what I had to do when I sold cars. And we had a really good conversation because he was really shaky that day. He was really shaky. He was very nervous. And I said, did you like your job? And he goes, no, I kind of had one foot out the door. And I said, and they fired you, right? Yeah. I said, well, maybe that was God giving you a little kick in the ass. And it was really, and he looked at me. It was pretty cool to give him advice because I had been out of work for a couple of years and, nearly died. And he said to me, I think it's really serendipitous that I met you. I think there's a reason why I met you. And I said, brother, there is always a reason things happen. And sometimes it's a little more obvious than others. And anyway, he works out at the gym that I work at. I hope to run into him again. That's the thing. It's hard. My son lost his job. And it's never easy. It's a very, very difficult thing, particularly if you're, and pardon me, but as a man, you're expected to be the provider. And so it's really, really hard. And it's hard on women, too, to lose their jobs. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that as the provider in the family, it was very hard for me. But it was a delightful conversation that I had with him. And I don't have any time for anything else, so I have to move on because next hour, we've got another hour of the show. We got Christian Toto on the show. Hollywood loses its biggest event ever because of its wokeness and its overregulation. Oh, my goodness, you won't believe it. That is on the way. Also, who is funding all these stupid protests around the country? And, of course, your phone calls, 800-922-6680. This is a Friday edition of the Rob Carson Show. Hour number 3 right ahead. Don't go anywhere.
No blind rhetoric.
No talking down to me.
Don't tell me how to think.
Don't tell me how to think. Don't tell me how to think.
I trust Newsmax. Newsmax.
They don't tell me how to think. They let me decide.
Real news for real people.
are about to hear the most interesting, informative, thought-provoking, and funny show in America. On air and on the World Wide Web. This is the Rob Carson Show.
And by the grace of God, it is Friday. Welcome to the show. Please come inside the last hour of the show right ahead. Christian Toto is going to join us at the bottom of the hour. For those of you who watch me streaming, occasionally I will look, I guess, to the right if you're looking at the monitor. I have my audio board over here. I need to move it because I run all my own audio. Yeah, I know. It's kind of like a Ray Charles playing the piano and singing, or Stevie Wonder or something. Anyway, by the way, my TV show is called Rob Carson's What in the World? And I've been doing it for a number of years on Newsmax. I think it's 6 years on Newsmax. And Donald Trump says it makes me the funniest guy on television. Dr. Michael Savage came back to radio on this show only one time a couple years ago because he loves my TV show so much, okay? So it runs on the weekends on Newsmax. It's Sunday night, 8:30, which is exactly where you'd expect to find a comedy show. And then I believe there's a good chance it's running again on Saturday at 3 in the afternoon. So just go to NewsmaxTV.com. If you want details, download the Newsmax app, get a Newsmax Plus membership. But Newsmax is pretty darned amazing. Pretty darned amazing. Senate agrees to fund the TSA, most of DHS, but not ICE. That's an earlier headline today. It sounds like they're going to be passing a deal to pay the TSA, and you know, like they did the last time, they had a bunch of people on furlough because the Democrats shut down the government, tried to destroy Donald Trump's economy in the fourth quarter. Succeeded, by the way, in C-blocking the GDP of the country, because that's the way the Democrats are. I would recommend that the TSA workers get a minimum $5,000 bonus. I'm not kidding. Maybe $10,000 bonus to cover all the late fees and all the nonsense and all the suffering they went through. They should get a bonus, not just back pay. Not just back pay, $5,000 or $10,000 per employee for the nonsense that the Democrat Party put us through. Trump slams Schumer, takes unilateral action to pay TS officers. Had this going, by the way. He announced he had instructed the Department of Homeland Security to pay the TSA agents. Trump said he will sign an executive order if need be. Mark Wade Mullen is now the DHS and in charge of DHS, and he would be in charge of executing the order. So there you go. It is just, honestly, the Democrat Party is not a force for good at all. Not a force for good at all. Steve Scalise was talking yesterday on Capitol Hill about Hakeem Jeffries. All of a sudden, Hakeem Jeffries thinks the DHS is bad and TSA is bad.
I think this is an important quote that everybody should listen to right now. This is Hakeem Jeffries, and I quote, "We are here today to do a single job, and that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security."
Yeah. And he said that, actually. He said that in 2015. But you see, the Democrats, if it weren't for double standards, would have no standards at all. Chris Plant came up with that, by the way.
I thank the distinguished gentlelady from New York. We are here today to do a single job, and that should be to fund fully the Department of Homeland Security. Anything else is an abdication of our responsibility.
Yeah, honestly. They do the same thing. And listen, it's like they don't know that the dang internet exists. That they can be shown to be such unbelievable hypocrites. And they were trying to go after Donald Trump, by the way. Donald Trump, because he did a mail-in ballot. Donald Trump did a mail-in ballot. Donald Trump is not saying that we need to get rid of mail-in ballots. There should be exceptions for people who can't, who are infirmed, military members who are not in the country, etc. But yesterday they thought they had a gotcha question. Donald Trump actually voted by mail.
Tell me about mail-in ballots. Go ahead. You mean I used a mail-in ballot? You probably said, yeah, I did. Why did you know what? Because I'm president of the United States.
Yeah, you can do the mic drop right there. Because I'm the freaking president. How's that? But he went further.
And because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida because I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine taking...
But you were in Palm Beach, sir.
But you were in Palm Beach.
That's right.
You were already there.
Yeah. And I decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there.
Yeah, he's kind of got this thing going where he's kicking Iran's rear end up between his shoulders and, freeing a lot of people and ending the possibility of a threat of nuclear war and terrorism and stuff like that.
Because I had a lot of different things. But, we have exceptions for mail-in ballots. You do know that,
yes,
right?
Yes,
so if you're away we have an exception. If you're in the military, we have an exception. If you're on a business trip, we have...
And if you're the freaking president, you got an exception.
An exception.
Listen, Joe Biden went to the beach, and the auto pin did all of his work for him, okay? That's like nothing compared to this.
Disabled, we have an exception. And if you're ill...
But this is nothing compared to that.
If you're not feeling good... So I was away... mostly in Washington, D.C., so I used a mail-in ballot. But I appreciate the question because I know it was so well-meaning.
Yeah, it was so well-meaning. So well-meaning. Yeah, it was really well-meaning. Dear Lord. I like to have this thing, I said that Joe Biden had the reverse Midas touch. Do you remember when I said that? Those of you who are new radio listeners or viewers on the stream, you may not know this because we have new viewers and listeners every day. I know it's crazy, right? It's crazy. But I said that Joe Biden had the reverse Midas touch. Rather than everything you touch turns to gold, everything that he touched turned to crap. And we came up with this. Crap touch. Crap touch. Yeah, crap touch. Here's one of the things that the Biden administration turned to crap. That is certifying truck drivers at truck driving schools. Pete Buttigieg, when he was the transportation secretary, and he's transphobic because he was afraid of transportation, he decided that anybody could get a truck driving license and anybody could open a truck driving school, maybe a truck leering center.
We have thousands of people who can't speak the language, long-standing rule, and it's a safety issue, right? If you can't understand road signs, if you can't communicate with law enforcement when you're pulled over.
What if they allowed blind people to be truck drivers?
And communicate what's on your rig? Huge.
Only if they're illegal aliens.
Problem. With the last administration, Mr. President, they let truck driving schools self-certify that they were qualified to train truck.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna open a daycare center. You know what? That's already been done by the Somalis. I'm gonna open a truck driving school, and I'm going to self-certify it.
Drivers. And so this is like the Leering Center. Yeah. So you pay $800 and you get a certificate that you passed a CDL driving school. And again, they have no skills. They don't have the knowledge and they don't have the skills. They haven't gone through any of the testing. And then they get licenses and they're killing Americans on our roads. So it's remarkable the rot that the last administration allowed to take place. We are ending that. And
they made everything suck. I mean, they really did. What a terrible, terrible administration. My God in heaven. And Nancy Pelosi said that Joe Biden's face belonged on Mount Rushmore. I said they should create another mountain, call it Mount Rushmoron. And then you could put Kamala Harris up there and Joe Biden up there because, honestly, and Joe Biden was such a bad president. Like he was at a Philadelphia Eagles game last year and nobody even acknowledged. They didn't even put him on the Jumbotron. He's so irrelevant because he was such a terrible president, you see. That's why. This is kind of good. It looks like the DOJ is set to denaturalize criminal illegal aliens. Hey, let's start with Ilhan Omar.
Criminal immigrants of their citizenship. David Spun has this story from Washington. Is it possible?
Well, Dana, it is possible, and it's becoming a much more frequent event to see DOJ officials securing through courts the denaturalization of people who obtained U.S. citizenship through fraud or obtained citizenship by committing other crimes. Now, we have a photo of Vladimir Volgayev, a native of Ukraine who became a U.S. citizen in 2016. Federal prosecutors this week say he concealed and misrepresented his involvement in a conspiracy to smuggle more than 1,000...
Yeah, they're going to start decriminalizing or denaturalizing people. Democrats think that denaturalizing means something to do with a tremor and your nether regions. Not the case. No, denaturalizing is something completely different. It has nothing to do with a tremor that you buy at the store. It is stripping you of your citizenship. I don't know where that came from. But that's my fertile mind at work there. Denaturalizing means you get booted from the country, even if you become a natural citizen, because you do not want to adhere to the population. For instance, like these people at this Philadelphia anti-whatever protest. They have these protests going on. Oh, by the way, No Kings is making a comeback this weekend in the Baltimore area. It might be going nationwide. If you see some of these No Kings morons and you have like Spotify, play YMCA, open your windows and play YMCA as loud as you can as you drive them. You don't even need to yell at them or anything. Just play YMCA really loud and drive really slow by them and then just wave and smile at them. That's what I'm going to do. And I got a bullhorn I ordered 2 bullhorns for these idiots who are doing these stupid protests. But they have this hands off Iran protest. These idiots, they would rather have women live in bondage. They would rather have the ayatollah in charge. They would rather have terror spread around the world. And here they are yesterday in Philly. Every one of the people who participated in this protest should the people who are actually from the United States of America should be investigated for terroristic threats, and the people who participated who are either naturalized citizens or illegals should be deported.
Until we have done everything in our power to bring the United States to its knees, let us not lose sight of the enemy. For every U.S. military base that crumbles, and for every U.S. soldier who returns home in a casket, we cheer.
For every U.S. soldier that returns home in a casket, we cheer. Are you listening, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews? They're clapping.
Hamas, Hezbollah, Ansarullah, all of the resistance forces.
Hamas, Hezbollah, all of this. He needs to be arrested. That is not a free speech. This is terroristic threats. And anyone at this rally who are not here legally or on a visa should be removed from the country and banned permanently.
We celebrate these popular voices on the ground, spend every waking moment in direct confrontation with Zionism, and they rely on a strong Iranian state to maintain their fighting capacity.
Do you hate America? May a Hamas rocket blow up your family's home.
Yeah, may Hamas blow up your family. Every one of you. GTFO. Honestly, out of the country. And this is why we need to win the midterms, because when we regain both houses, or I should say increase our lead in both houses, then we spend 2 years gutting this country of the filth, of the corruption, of the terror that was allowed to come across the southern border. Let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. Yes, denaturalize.
WCBM.
Fasten your seatbelt, Deep State. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. It's the Rob Carson Show.
Friday edition of the Rob Carson Show. There's apparently no Kings rallies are coming back. These idiots, I've got actually friends on social media who are doing no Kings rallies. I'm like, you freaking morons. Honestly, if anybody is not behaving like a king, it's Donald Trump. Every time there's some sort of a court order or a Supreme Court ruling against his tariffs, he abides by it. And it's a joke. It's a joke. But Jim Gossett did a little parody for us about the No Kings protest as the President of the United States.
No Kings Rally Day. Saw it and said, what a bunch of losers. Most of them are unemployed.
Yeah, they are.
Drug addicts and also boozers.
I'm thinking they do weed. I think it's more weed, actually.
These protesters are so crazy. Not to mention they are very lazy. No Kings Rally Day. Deadbeats with a criminal history. The fact that they don't have a job is really not much of a mystery.
They're all the same people, and they just change their signs.
7 million, there's no way. Crowd size, exaggerated.
Big time. And other size exaggerated too.
Most of them were elderly and heavily medicated.
There you go. So that is Jim Gossett. If you want to help him out, patreon.com, Jim Gossett Comedy. Will Kane did a little piece on this. He's got a pretty good show about who's funding these protests. And I want to see Neville Singham extradited. I'm sure he won't be from China, but Neville Singham should be extradited to the United States for criminal trial. George Soros should be extradited from wherever the hell he is out of the volcano that he lives under with his bald cat. Should be extradited to the United States for trial.
Let's talk about the worldwide paid protest pipeline. Who's funding it and why? Because no matter the cause, anti-ICE, pro-Palestine, pro-Iran, you'll see different signs, but it's the same script.
Same people.
And it's the same networks, the same organizers, the same graphics, the same font. Fox News Digital has been digging into this, following the money, and a lot of it leads back to one man.
Who is it?
We've told you about him in the past. Tech tycoon, American-born, Neville Roy Singham, who lives in Shanghai. Now, he allegedly poured millions.
He's also married to the creator, the head of Code Pink.
Into these networks to push an overtly pro-Chinese Communist Party interest.
Yeah, and by the way, the Philadelphia protest audio just played where they were cheering for the death of American soldiers, that's paid for by that SOB. And I met some of these punks the other day down here in Northern Virginia. And it was a lovely Friday night, and, everybody's enjoying the outdoors. And these morons just set up shop with bullhorns and the same damn signs as New York City. And I wasn't going to take it anymore, so I confronted them. I got right in their face with my phone, and I said, you are a bunch of children. And I yelled to the crowd, these guys are bought and paid for by Neville Singham and George Soros. They are being paid to be here. They're being paid. And then there were two adults like in their 40s. I said, you should be ashamed of yourself, bringing these children out here. And one of the girls was actually sucking on a ring pop. Those little ring pops you used to buy for your toddler? And I'm like, you guys are just stupid, ignorant children. They didn't come back. So what I did was I went home and I got on the Amazon and I got 2 bullhorns. I did. And I'm keeping them in my Bronco buck. And if I see any no kingers out this weekend, I'm going to take my 5,000-watt sound system. My tailgate is a subwoofer, and I'm going to crank YMCA. You should do it too, because I'm sick of this crap, particularly since it's being bought and paid for by communists. So there you go. There you go. I was reminded of an update we haven't done in a while. It's called the Gender Confusion Update by my producer, Ken, also known as Redneck MacGyver.
Gender confusion. What is my gender today?
Hey, hey.
Gender confusion. Hey, hey.
So there's this lawyer In Oklahoma, did you see this? Got arrested for contempt of court because this person is a woman child with a beard. It's a woman with a beard and says he's a guy. Rob Hopkins is what this guy calls himself or herself or whatever the hell. I have no idea. She's got a nina and a beard. There you go. You figure it out. Roll the dice. You figure it out. Anyway, he decided to get mouthy with the judge, and this is what happened.
I pointed you to the exact paragraph. It's her education.
Stop.
Stop because you don't want to hear.
That's the judge going, stop.
Oh, stop. You interrupt me one more time, you are being held in direct contempt of court.
I wasn't done with my argument.
And I was.
Okay, now this person sounds like a petulant child, and then throws you're discriminating against me because I'm confused with a vagina and a beard.
I'm done with my statement. You interrupted again.
Okay, dropped its phone, and it fell on the floor.
Do not throw your...
I did not throw. It fell off the bench. Please stop stating things that are not true, ma'am. Or maybe because I'm a transgender attorney practicing all over this state.
I don't know what you are.
You do, ma'am. It's not... You do.
See, he decided to rub the transgender thing in the judge's face, and the judge went, non-ankle play here.
I don't know whether
you do, ma'am. You do.
Other than you have just now.
No, ma'am. You
that
do.
Doesn't have
you do.
anything to do.
It's happened when we talked on the phone.
This is as clear as the nose on my face.
And then there's the other guy, the other attorney, and they're going, "You're out of your mind."
This woman will not appear before this court because she has a warrant for stealing.
Objection! That's not true. Get out of my face.
And this is when the sergeant at arms or the bail bond, whatever, I don't even know, the guys in the courtroom, police officers decide to arrest this person for contempt.
Put your hands behind your back.
Why?
Hands behind your back.
Because you're in direct contempt of court.
Do not grab me. Do not grab me.
This reminds me of a petulant toddler throwing a tantrum. It really does. I can't breathe. Wow. That reminds me of a petulant toddler at the grocery store throwing a tantrum on the floor, trying to get as much attention as possible. And I would be sitting, if I were in there, I'd be laughing. I'd do everything I could just to make him feel even worse about being arrested. Be like, oh, look at you. You're getting dragged out of the courtroom, just to make him feel even worse. There you go. That's our gender confusion update. That's about as confused as you get, isn't it? Pretty darn confused. Coming up, Christian Toto. Oh, Hollywood is losing something really, really, really big. Will they change their ways? I'm doubting it. This is the Rob Carson Show. This fall, you're invited to experience Washington, D.C. in a truly unforgettable way with me, Rob Carson, and other Newsmax listeners. Imagine strolling through our nation's capital as America celebrates 250 years and seeing history come alive with an expert guide. Together, we'll tour the White House Visitor Center, step into the halls of democracy with a guided tour of the U.S. Capitol building, visit Arlington National Cemetery and the changing of the guard, stand in awe before the towering figure of President Abraham Lincoln, and take in the beauty of D.C.'s legendary memorials with a special nighttime illumination tour. Our adventure includes premium hotel accommodations for 4 nights in the heart of D.C., in addition to 6 meals, ground transportation guides, and gratuities. Space is limited, so don't wait. Visit travelwithrob.net to book your D.C. getaway today, or give our friends at Cruise and Tour a call at 800-383-3131. That's 800-383-3131, or travelwithrob.net. Hey, guys, it's Carson. I just got a ghost bed. Yeah, no, pay attention here, because I've been sleeping on a foam mattress since I moved to the Washington, D.C. area, which is like sleeping on the sponge in your sink. Ghost Bed doesn't build mattresses like furniture. They build engineered sleep systems. Their beds are serious health equipment. Beds designed for relief and recovery, not looks, not fluff. Your body should be healing while you sleep, not fighting for comfort. I have been sleeping past 7 in the morning on my Ghost Bed. It's unbelievable. If you wake up stiff, you toss and turn, if you sleep hot, even reaching for a pain reliever before bed, hoping tonight will be different, that's not aging. It's your mattress talking. Another great thing I love about Ghost Bed, you get 101 nights to try it at home. If you don't like the difference, you can send it back risk-free. Ghost Bed is offering my audience their lowest prices of the season, plus an extra 10% off. Go to ghostbed.com/Carson. Use promo code Carson. That's ghostbed.com/Carson. Promo code Carson. You are going to love your new Ghost Bed. Used to kind of like his music, and then I got really tired of it. I think right about when Born in the USA came, and they just beat the snot out of it on radio for about 30 years.
Yeah, I've never been a huge fan. Certain songs I like, and Born to Run is just amazing. And listen, it doesn't matter. I recognize that he's been a significant artist, and he's a rock and roll icon. I get that. But by golly, if you're going to go in this tirade, at least educate yourself. Maybe crack open maybe read the Daily Wire or the Federalist or something, and just know what's going on. Don't just keep taking one side of the story. And by the way, can you maybe pen a song about Lake and Riley or any of the countless people who have been killed by illegal immigrants? Maybe just bone up on the issues you're talking about before you go on tour. It's the very least you should do, but he can't.
And then, of course, also his tickets for his shows are absolutely outrageously expensive, which is, kind of oligarchic of him to do such a thing. I want to play this little soundbite. Donald Trump went after Jimmy Kimmel after Jimmy Kimmel said this about Mark Wayne Mullen.
Rudy Giuliani might not be with us much longer, but don't worry, Trump's got a whole new generation of thinkers lined up, including
this is career suicide.
His newly confirmed Secretary of Homeland Security, Mark Wayne, Chuck Mike, Bruce Dave Mullen. Maybe Mellon's better. He is the now former senator of Oklahoma. Before he was elected to the Senate, Mark Wayne Mullen was a low-level MMA fighter and a plumber. That's right. We have a plumber protecting us from terrorism now.
There you go. That's where he shows himself as a true elitist to me. Think about this. AOC was a bartender, for God's sake. And he has a problem with a plumber working up and becoming Mr. Smith in Washington, D.C.
Again, he's just dumb. He hasn't learned what he's talking about. Mullen became a plumber. He took over the family business when his dad was sick. And he took over the business, not just being a plumber, but actually working in this field when he was a very young man being responsible. And he's done other things in his life, and he was a senator. Listen, if you're going to do satire, political satire, you've got to know what you're talking about. Because when the facts aren't there, the joke doesn't land.
100%.
He doesn't care about it. I mean, he's just this wacky uncle that shows up and is obsessed about a topic. You name your conspiracy, name your topic. He's just running on and on. It's embarrassing. I'm feeling badly for Jimmy Kimmel. Like, he's reached that level of his career where you just think, oh my gosh, isn't there anyone who loves him?
I don't know.
Aside and say, hey Jimmy, what's going on?
Yeah,
you gotta straighten up.
He's got another now, but I guess probably 9 months on his contract because he got a contract because ABC was so terrified of. They were just terrified of the backlash from firing him. They kept him on, and his ratings went up that day that he came back. And then it's been crap ever since. And Gutfeld is still just, cold cocking everybody. And you know the reason why Gutfeld, and it's not just because he's conservative, okay? It's that he does it with a joyful heart. You watch Gutfeld, he delivers monologues that are fantastic, brilliant, pointed, awesome, and then it's just joyful. The whole damn show, you got the cast members, the regular ones, Kat and Tyrus, and they're always just funny. And then they bring in the comedian, Jamie Lizzow and all that. But they do it with joy, and that's what I try to do. That's what Limbaugh used to do. Is you gotta have truth in your comedy, and then also you actually really have joy in your heart. And Jimmy Kimmel is a very dark person. He's just not funny anymore.
He's not, and what Gutfeld does is they often disagree. Sometimes Kat will take Gutfeld to task about a certain thing. She's more libertarian, he's more right-leaning. It's that kind of back-and-forth debate. It's that holding each other accountable. It's telling a joke that fails but having a good laugh along the way. It's self-deprecation.
Yep.
It's all the things that makes comedy what it is.
100%.
And you watch Kimmel, and it's a screed.
It is.
Who wants to watch a screed before bedtime?
It is. I don't know. I know there's a place for comedy. I'm not sure late night particularly, but certainly there are plenty of platforms. I'm doing a comedy. I do a lot of comedy on my show. My show is not exclusively comedy. I'm an entertainer. Rush called himself an entertainer, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you can be an entertainer, you can be educated, and you can have a good point. Like, for instance, Bill Maher. But let me give you a little sample, a little bit of Bill Maher, why I'm becoming more of a fan. Still, disagree on a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things he's profoundly ignorant on. But I like that he has the balls to say stuff like this.
Democrats must recognize that Zohran Mamdani is the future of the party. Unfortunately, it's the Republican Party. We've run this experiment many times, and the results are always obvious. Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea.
Dark.
Yeah. In 1990, Venezuela was wealthier than Poland. But then Poland, finally free of Soviet-style economics, went all in on capitalism. And now their economy is as big as Japan. And people there have high...
He's doing information here. He's being a pundit here.
Wages, low inflation.
What are you going to do with
cars,
it? Keep going.
Vacations.
There you go.
Homes.
Great thoughts.
Meanwhile, Venezuela traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's socialism for the 21st century.
And a joke.
Which turned out to be like socialism in the last century, or any century of fucking mess.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. So that's where Bill Maher is. He has common sense. He has a modicum of common sense. Consequently, he's getting the Mark Twain Humor Award, and I think I would go to the Kennedy Center and watch this. What do you think?
Yeah, he deserves it. Listen, he deserves it for standing up for free speech for decades, for not wavering while all his colleagues have basically bent the knee at the woke mob. He calls out his own side. He's funny. I disagree sometimes, and I think he buys into some media narratives that kind of drive me crazy, but he's intellectually honest. He's not predictable. He's smart, and he's done it for decades. Those are all really good things and hard things.
Yeah, I know
and
you had
sold out.
You had a story on HollywoodInToto.com why Bill Maher is the perfect choice for the Mark Twain Prize. And I saw him do a comedy special in the 90s in St. Paul, Minnesota, before he got hyper-political. This is right around Politically Incorrect, and he ushered in that new show. And he invites people of different viewpoints on the show, and he's somehow able to corral them to not let it become a free-for-all like it does so many times on CNN. If you watch their panels with Scott Jennings and these other idiots, it's too much. Bill Maher manages to have a civil discussion with all of them, and I think he deserves the prize. I would go to the Kennedy Center, the Trump Kennedy Center, to see that. Christian Toto, I got a couple other stories I want to get to on the other side of the break. Can you hold on?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's take a break and come back. This is the Rob Carson Show. It is Rob Carson Show. More with Christian Toto in a second. Gold is now above $4,500 an ounce. That's not bad. $45.25 is what it is. And, I was mentioned that, a lot of the buildings here in Washington, D.C. Are made without structural metal. So the Washington Monument is basically a pile of stones held together by mortar. I mean, it looks very pretty, but it's really actually not a very strong structure. And a really powerful earthquake could damage it. And it did, by the way, early in about 15 years ago, there was a pretty bad earthquake. And they had to spend years fixing it. Same goes with National Cathedral. These structures, like your retirement, need some metal to strengthen them, because gold has always had value, silver has always had value, and most recently, very unprecedented value. And like the Washington Monument, it's going to be in here for the long haul. So if you're thinking about investing, or maybe you've got a portfolio, you've got a 401k or IRA, and it's not performing the way you want it to, you can diversify by adding a little metal. And there's only one company that I trust, and that is Birch Gold. Birch Gold. By the way, I want to welcome Birch Gold. They have just signed with us again for an extended contract. Birch Gold, thank you. Thank you for being a sponsor of this program and being such a big believer in what we do here, which is a conservative talk radio program that entertains, informs, and motivates, and features great satire. That's what this show is. Birch Gold understands it. He understands our audience. They understand the connection I have with you guys. So we want to thank you very much, Birch Gold, for your business. It means a lot. And I believe in you so much that I've invested my money with Birch Gold. I trust them. I've talked to many on the phone, many of the principals at Birch Gold, and they're a great company, A+ rating from the BBB. If you want to invest in Birch Gold, text my name, Rob, to 989898. Rob to 989898 for Birch Gold. So, Christian, have you ever been to the Oscars?
No, I've been to the Critics' Choice Awards, but not the Oscars.
Well, look at you, C-lister.
I prefer D, but I'll take you up there.
Wow, look, you get to go. I get to go to the trailer park of awards ceremonies, the Critics' Choice Awards. Where was it? Which Holiday Inn was it at? Just kidding.
Listen, I had the best cupcake I've ever had in my life.
I'll bet you did. You know, I've been to the Oscars a number of times. I didn't go to the ceremony. But when I used to work for ABC Radio here in Washington, D.C., they'd send me out to the Oscars. And it was really fun because it's on Hollywood Boulevard there, and they bring in this football field of the worst pink-red carpet you could ever imagine. It's absolutely the crappiest carpet. They literally cut it up and give it to homeless people. I don't even know. It's the worst carpet ever. But they bring all these, ABC used it to bring in, TV celebrities for some reason. Like Doris Roberts showed up. She was drinking a Cabernet out of a drink glass when she showed up at my table. She was a blast, by the way. She was 3 sheets in the wind. That said, Doris Roberts was so cool. Oh my God, you have no idea. Doris Roberts from Everybody's Loves Raymond. Oh my God. But anyway, I never got into the ceremony, but did go to the pantry. They're moving it from Hollywood. They're moving it to downtown L.A., 9 miles away, out of Hollywood. I don't know what kind of sense this makes. I don't know what exactly the deal is. It's going to be a downtown Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, home of the L.A. Opera. Did you hear about this?
I did. It's not symbolic at all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was wondering. Hollywood and the Oscars themselves. Yeah. Listen, it was rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic at this point.
yes.
In a couple of years, it's going to be on YouTube, which is just a riot. But listen, the latest Oscars came and went. It was 18 hours long last time I checked. The ratings crashed once more.
Yeah.
They alienated even more of the people who ostensibly could go to the movies, would want to go to the movies. It is just an industry that is blinded by its own bigotry, and it's very frustrating. It's frustrating for me and you because we love movies. And
I know.
I will continue to celebrate the good ones and crash on the bad ones, but I just wish this industry in Toto would get its act together because they're just doing all the wrong things.
Well, when I worked in music radio, I was writing for Rush Limbaugh and doing music radio, which is your typical Hollywood dish, big stunts, big events, all of this stuff, giving away cars, giving away all this stuff, and I knew to stay away from politics. I absolutely. It was like when you don't curse on the air as a radio professional. There's a shutoff valve. When I put together IKEA furniture, I create a cloud of profanity that planes need to fly around. But when I'm on the air, I don't. but they just haven't figured it out. They're committing career suicide. Stephen Colbert, prime example of this. And by the way, he's going to write the next Lord of the Rings. What's this all about? Do you know about this? Well, it's obviously you do. It's on Hollywood and Toto.
But that's a perfect example. Listen, Stephen Colbert has never written a main feature film script that I know of. He's done some TV work. Now, there's always a chance, and he's a big Tolkien fan, there's always a chance, I'm not going to deny this, that he could write a killer script and make a good movie. But the bottom line is he is alienated, half the country, maybe more than half the country, maybe a little less than half the country, and you're making an expensive movie that you need every fanny and every seat possible to make them turn a profit. And you hire him, who's going to make many, many, many people say, I am not going to the theater to see that. Why would you do that? Why would you shoot yourself in the foot? Because they don't even see it. They're just blinded by the bubble, and they think, oh, Colbert, he's a funny guy. He must write a great script.
Yeah, I don't know what business he has. And I think in this one, actually, to keep the hobbits from coming under the possession of the ring, they're going to force a vaccine on all of them. And it'll be the anti-ring. All right, that was maybe a stretch. One other thing, you said Barry, Mike, and Nick and Alice in a time capsule. Not a good time travel movie, I guess?
No, it's not. And listen, I love Vince Vaughn. There's nothing wrong with his performance in the movie. It's got some time travel elements, some comedy, some action. Listen, my fellow critics like it far more than me. I found it painful. I found it very obvious. Kind of all the jokes are very forced, and you can see them coming a mile away. Yeah. But it's on Hulu this weekend. If you want to check it out, if you're streaming. If you subscribe, there's no harm, no foul. Give it a chance. Maybe you'll like it more than anybody.
I think I'll just watch watch Old School again, or watch Dodgeball again for the 85th time. Christian Toto, thanks for joining me, man. Tell everybody where they can find your podcast. Also, HollywoodandToto.com.
Yep, it's the Hollywood in Toto podcast on YouTube, on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, video or audio.
All right, have a glorious weekend, Christian. I appreciate you. Let's take a break and come back. This is The Rob Carson Show. Hello, everybody. Oh, what do we got here? You guys have been busy today. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. Gary Madden. Hold on, I got to find some script here. Let me right here. Oh, here it is. Right here in front of me. All right, don't forget the like button. That's good. That's good advice here, Grandma. Appreciate you. Hello, Roundapody. What's going on with you guys? What are you guys doing this weekend? You gonna get out and do something? I've got a date tomorrow. It's kind of fun. It's nothing serious. I'm not gonna get anything serious. We haven't talked about food today. Well, why the hell not? I have a listener who has honeybees, and she's talking about making hot honey this summer. It's not that. And she doesn't like spicy, but she'd like give me some honey to make hot honey like they make in, I guess, isn't it big in Nashville? Hot chicken, hot honey, whatever. Making a lot of hot honey as a condiment. So I might have to figure out how to make hot honey. I know how to make candied jalapenos. I make the best candied jalapenos you ever had in your life. So there's that. America Marcy, how are you? Enjoying the radio program? I hope so. Watch my TV show, Rob Carson's What in the World. South Dakota. Is it going to be warm up there this weekend? It's going to be kind of chilly here. Unfortunately. Yesterday was beautiful. I got to go down to King Street and walk around. We've heard Rob Carsson. Yes, I slipped one or twice. That's all, Sam Ken Potter. Thank you. Let it go, man. Damn it. I have slipped on the stream, which is okay because it's not over the air. That's not over the air. But very rarely on the air. Here we go.
320.
Okay. I got to share this story. Yesterday at the Orioles ballpark, a 109-year-old World War II veteran threw out the first pitch.
Tonight on opening day, a dream come true. Tonight on Major League Baseball's opening day, meet 109-year-old Arthur Green.
Wow. Hi, David. Happy opening day. Wow.
Happy opening day to you, Arthur. Arthur is a lifelong Baltimore Orioles fan, the team asking him to throw out the honorary first pitch.
109.
All right, Arthur, it's your pitch.
Right down the middle. very
Here's
far.
why. Not only is Arthur a fan, but he's a hero, serving in the Army in World War II and the Korean War as staff sergeant and platoon leader. Through the years and through his service, playing baseball and never missing a game of his beloved Orioles. The team surprising him, making him Fan of the Year. Wow. We learned about Arthur because his daughter Myra has worked here at ABC News for more than 40 years.
That's pretty amazing.
And when we learned of her father...
Pretty amazing. 109 years old. He was middle-aged when I was born. It's remarkable. It's beautiful. Beautiful story. I love the Orioles, by the way. I love Camden Yards, the whole deal. We're doing this October trip, October 25th through the 29th. You come to Washington, D.C., hang with me. A guided tour of the U.S. Capitol, visit Arlington National Cemetery, changing of the guard, stand in awe at the towering figure of Abraham Lincoln, the Lincoln Memorial, all of it. 6 meals, ground transportation, 4 nights, guides and gratuities. Get on it this weekend, okay? Get on it this weekend. Travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net is where you need to go. Or you can call this number, 800-383-3131. I cannot wait for you to come here. There's a lot of great things happening right now. And I know that we've been through many tribulations. We've been through many speed bumps. We've been through many hardships, whether it's censorship or inflation or all of this the last few years. But there is a reason why you're here with me and I'm here with you. There's a reason why you're watching me now. There's a reason why you're listening to my voice now. There's a reason why I'm reading your comments on all of Newsmax social media, all of you people who become communities on each one of these networks. We have come together to Washington, D.C. We are Mr. Smith. We are Mr. Smith. And we came together to save America, homeboys, hillbillies, and Hebrews. So this is coming up October 25th to the 29th. It's only going to be the 250th anniversary of America once, and Donald Trump is only going to be the president this time in history. Travelwithrob.net. Travelwithrob.net or 800-383-3131. Okay? All right. My TV show, Rob Carson's What in the World, is on Newsmax this weekend, Sunday night, I believe again on Saturday afternoon, but definitely Sunday night at 8:30. Go to newsmaxtv.com. Download the Newsmax app, by the way. Or get a Newsmax Plus membership. That's what I have. You can also watch it on YouTube TV. But anyway, Newsmax is a destination for you, man. It is the best news network out there, bar none. God bless you. America has founded Donald Trump as he makes America greater. Our military in harm's way. Our ICE agents doing a great job in TSA. And you guys, of course. And until Monday, do not catch the stupid. I love you guys. See ya.
Rob, you have a good weekend.
I don't love you.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.